Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, your digital news desk host. It is Tuesday, July the 15th, and we are looking at another hot day, but we've also got some exciting things happening. We're going to be talking in just a minute to our sports reporter who is live at the SEC Media Day. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be happening in just a moment. If you are tuning in through our mobile app or through our website, we do appreciate you being here. And if you're watching on any of our social streams, appreciate you being there as well, tuning in. Don't forget you can always join in the conversation. If you have any thoughts, questions, suggestions, comments, anything like that, you can always leave that in the comment section on our Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch stream. So if you are tuning in there, let me know where you are watching from. So today, like I said, is a exciting day because we have our sports reporter who is live right now in at Atlanta. Am I right there, Nate? You're in Atlanta, right?
Atlanta, Georgia, it has been so special out here. Once in a lifetime experience for me. I've always watched SEC Media Days on ESPN, but getting to be here, be one of the reporters here, what a time for me.
I can only imagine just the atmosphere there. I mean, we all know how much the South loves our football. We love SEC football.
Hmm.
And so just to be there and be in the midst of everything and getting to see that action up close, I know that's got to be a once in a lifetime experience for you.
Oh, without a doubt. It's just the people too. So many people, but the athletes, the coaches. When you're running into them, sometimes you see them on TV. They're a little bit bigger than life, but when you meet them, talk to them, they're just another person that so happens to know a lot about football. So
Yeah.
it's just really, really cool.
So tell us what is happening there. You were there yesterday, right? So tell us about yesterday. What happened?
Yeah, so Ole Miss, they headlined our Monday coverage, and we got to learn a lot about this team. We knew that they had a lot of turnover from last year, right? They lost 28 players in the portal, as well as 8 guys in the draft, and that's actually most in program history. So that was the biggest storyline. How is this team going to move on from last year, a team that was a win or two away from making the playoffs, to a new quarterback, new players all over this roster? How are they going to shift into this next season? And the biggest thing for them is it's leadership. They got their guys on this team, even though some of them are young. They know what their goals are this year, and the mentality hasn't changed. The expectations hasn't changed. That's one thing Lane Kiffin made very clear, that hey, we might have lost some guys, but that's not gonna alter what we expect this upcoming season, especially after last year. They got a big chip on their shoulder, so that was a big things for them yesterday. And when he gets to the day, we're really going to look into what is this new quarterback, Austin Simmons, sophomore. He's coming in here, young guy. He's also a baseball player over there at Ole Miss. You know, what is he going to do? He talked about a lot yesterday about how much Jackson Dart, the quarterback last season, had an impact on him, and what he learned from him, especially through the adversities and everything. So those are some of the things we're going to look into today, but that was the big points from yesterday as well.
So today we don't have any Mississippi teams on the schedule today. Who do we have on the schedule today, though?
Yes, so we got a loaded schedule for today. We have Auburn; they started the day off, and then Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas. Tennessee and Texas are actually going on right now. Actually, Coach Sarkeesian for Texas just passed me on the escalator up there, so I got to wave at him for a little bit. But and that's one of those moments too when you see a guy like that. It's just like, whoa, what the heck? So,
Yeah.
but we got those teams for today. But then we got into to tomorrow with Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. And so, what are we? What do you think is going to be happening tomorrow with Mississippi State? What do you foresee? Can you see into the future?
Oh, I wish I could, but the things that I'm really looking into is, when you have a new coach come in with Jeff Levy. Now he was there last year, of course, but when you got a guy just kind of getting into those first few years as a coach, for me, the thing I like to see is the takeover effect from a coach, him establishing his culture, getting quote unquote his guys in the building. When a coach takes over, a lot of those players are the past coach, and then you have the transfer portal. So you got these guys moving in and out. So I'm really looking into that. That's where a lot of my questions are going to lead into is how much has he been able to establish his culture here. But we're going to hear from obviously head coach Jeff Lebby, quarterback Blake Shapen, the Baylor transfer who came in last year, and then safety Isaac Smith and receiver Brennan Thompson. So we're going to hear from a lot of their leaders, their established guys, on this team. It's kind of the opposite from Ole Miss. We
Mhm.
had some of their young guys come in for Mississippi State. We got their established guys coming in, so they got good leadership. But I'm really, really looking into how has Jeff Lebby established his culture after back-to-back under 500 win seasons.
Yeah. And so today on our newscast later today, is there anything that we can expect to hear from you today that you're looking at, or are you following what's going on today, even though it's not any Mississippi teams?
And we're just going to dive a little bit deeper into Ole Miss, obviously preview tomorrow with Mississippi State. Like I said, the biggest thing for me is this Austin Simmons transfer from Jackson Dart, a guy that was loved in Oxford, had an incredible career there, and got drafted in the first round. So that shows you how good he was to the New York Giants. But I really want to dive deeper into Austin Simmons, who he is, and how his teammates feel about him. We hit on that a little bit yesterday in the late shows about how what they're seeing from him. Obviously, his talent, it speaks for itself. He's a four-star athlete, but what he's done off the field to really connect with these guys and be a leader, and so I'm going to dive deeper into that. But also TJ Dottery, this guy right here, he has fully assumed the leadership role on the defensive side of the ball for the Rebels, and his mentality is something that can really push this team forward. But at the end of the day, it's the expectations haven't changed, and that was really the biggest point. And we're just going to kind of drive that home for Ole Miss today in our recap.
Awesome. Well, everybody, you can tune in tonight during our newscast and watch the updates from straight from the SEC Media Days from our sports reporter Nathan Lee here. And Nathan, I know I'm in Mississippi, and I know I'm a Mississippi girl. I should be cheering for Mississippi, but you told me earlier that Alabama is tomorrow, and I'm really a Crimson Tide fan. So that's what I'm looking forward to hearing about, which I'm sure I will because my husband will be totally tuned into it all day tomorrow. So
Yes, yeah. DeBoer goes pretty early, so you'll get to hear everything he's got to say, and yeah, that's a team that you got to watch for this season.
yes, hopefully so. Fingers crossed. Hopefully so. All right, Nathan. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy day there in Atlanta to talk to us, and I look forward to seeing what else you bring us from the SEC Media Days.
Well, of course, thank y'all so much for the opportunity, and let's get back to work, right?
Yeah, you have a great day, and I will talk to you later.
Sounds good. Thanks, Kara.
Bye, Nathan. And that was Nathan Lee, our sports reporter. He is live there in Atlanta right now, part of the SEC Media Days. Like I said, I'm an Alabama fan. I'm looking forward to hearing about that tomorrow. But you can watch all of the SEC Media Days coverage right here on WLBT. You can watch them on or through our newscast, and then of course online. You can check out the stories online. And if you want to see the coverage from our newscast, but you miss it, you can always go back on our app and watch all of our previous newscasts. And if you download our app on your smart TV, rather, you can not only watch all of our newscasts there, but you can watch a ton of other content that we have for you through your smart TV. And of course, you can watch our newscasts live then as well, or live there as well. But again, Nathan Lee is there in Atlanta, and covering SEC Media Days for us here at WLBT. So now that we have talked to him, got that exciting. I know everybody loves football. Well, most everybody loves football, but we will move on now and looking. We're going to take a look outside real quick and see what it is looking like over downtown Jackson. I said earlier we do have some hot weather happening out there, triple-digit heat indices, and a heat advisory actually in effect. But even though that's the case, it is a beautiful view over the Capitol building there in downtown Jackson. So we do have some news to get into today, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So a man who was accused of a deadly mass shooting that happened after the House St. Patty's Day parade remains in jail without a hearing nearly 4 months after his arrest. So Marquavius McLeod faces charges of murder and aggravated assault from the March 22nd shooting, which again occurred after the Howe's St. Patty's Day parade. His lawyer, Carlos Tanner, has requested a preliminary hearing saying that the charges are not valid. So McLeod is still held at the Raymond Detention Center, and his brother Michael is also being held there and has been denied bond. There's another suspect, Kane Davis, who was arrested recently. He does face some similar charges. And the attorney, Carlos Tanner, the attorney for Marquavius, is asking for a hearing to happen within 2 weeks as required by law. Turn up my audio. Okay. Thank you so much, Angela, for saying that. Can you let me know if you can hear me any better now? Turned it up some for you. All right, and then staying here in Jackson, there was a woman that was injured during a shooting that happened in Jackson. So it happened early this morning in the 3700 block of Hancock Street. You can see where that is here on the map, is right off of Medgar Evers Boulevard. So according to the Jackson Police Department, the female victim was taken to a local hospital with some injuries sustained. JPD did say that she was rushed into surgery. Her identity has not yet been released. We also don't have any information on a suspect at this time, but we will continue to watch this and follow up on it and bring you updates from this story. And sheriff's deputies in Adams County now have video evidence as they investigate a series of weekend events that ended up leaving one person injured, somebody shot, and people behind bars. So this video, which I want to warn you, some of the video that you're going to see here, it can be disturbing to watch. So the video here was posted on social media, and it shows a man identified as Reginald Butler being assaulted by a group of people on Deerfield Road near Natchez last Friday. Sheriff Travis Patton says that Butler was riding a bicycle when the group stopped him. They asked him for a cigarette, verbally assaulted him, and then challenged him to a fight. The sheriff says Butler initially got away, but then returned to an area near the scene later that night with a gun.
Reginald Butler went home for a while, and what he did was he retrieved a weapon before coming back from his residence. He did not return to the original scene of the crime, which we learned later on, but he did get back on his bike and began to ride towards another bridge on Deerfield Road.
So Butler is accused of opening fire, struck one person in the chest, and he and two other people are now facing charges. So Sheriff Patton says that he has reached out to MBI and the FBI to make a determination as to whether or not this case qualifies as a hate crime. You can read the full story of this on our website, WLBT.com, and this is definitely something that we are going to continue to follow here in WLBT. And three people are now behind bars in connection to a shootout that was caught on camera here in a Jackson neighborhood. So police, the people that were caught on camera, of course, are accused of the shootout that happened in the Brook Hollow subdivision. So Jackson police say Quanmarion Chrysler was arrested yesterday. Now, Chrysler has been charged with shooting into an occupied dwelling with a bond set at $1 million. Now, Chrysler has no prior criminal history. On July 14th, he did turn himself into authorities after police identified him in the video footage of the shootout. Chrysler claims that he was defending himself. However, officers report that he followed the opposing group's car, continuing to fire shots. In court, the judge deemed Chrysler an extreme risk to the community, and of course, he had a bond set at $1 million. Also arrested on Friday was Jamal Henderson, and you can see both of their mugshots here on the screen. And another suspect, Lyndon Ford, was taken into custody Thursday. Henderson appeared in court yesterday. His bond was set at $250,000. And in Columbus, a child under the age of 10 called 911 about shots fired, and it ended up leading to a drug bust in Columbus. So if you take a look here on your screen, this is what officers found during their investigation. Lots of guns and a lot of drugs. 3 people were arrested, and Chief Chris Daughtry says there could be some more arrests in this. So the people that were arrested were 44-year-old Chandra Dismuke. She was arrested for accessory after the fact. 18-year-old Logan Vaughn was charged with aggravated assault and 2 counts of malicious mischief. And 62-year-old Dwayne Gardner is charged with 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance and 6 counts of weapon possession by a convicted felon. Again, this happened up in Columbus. And back here in Jackson, we're looking to see how the city spent millions of dollars in settlement money, or how that city spent the money, and it could determine whether or not you have to pay more for water. So JXN Water is, of course, proposing a nearly 12% rate increase, but the judge must first approve the rate hike, and wants to know whether money from the Siemens settlement could be used to help offset JXN Water's expenses. So back in April of 2022, the city got close to $60 million in a settlement from Siemens over the company's overhaul of the city's water meters and billing system. So the city used $37 million of that settlement to cover bond debt and other water sewer covenants. Another $13 million was spent on deficits in the water and sewer department. And by June of 2022, the city still had $8 million in unspent settlement money. U.S. District Judge Henry Wingate wants to know where that money is now and whether or not that money could be used to help offset a rate increase. Some residents tell 3 on your side that they would be glad to see that happen.
Oh, I could breathe a sigh of relief from that. If that happened, I'd really be happy. It's telling me that the judge is trying to do right. He's looking at what's right, and that's the right thing to do. And I have a lot of confidence in the judge, and I feel that he's going to bring things through.
Judge Wingate says he wants to look into every other potential source of funding before approving a rate increase. It's not clear at this time when he will make a final decision. And we are taking a closer look at how much your rates could be going up, and we're comparing those rates to what people in other parts of the metro are paying. So when we looked at rates in more than a dozen different cities and towns across central Mississippi, and it wasn't easy because not every municipality and water association has flat rates. Some, like Madison, charge a base rate and then add to that for every 1,000 gallons used. Others, like the city of Pearl, charge users by the cubic foot, which is equal to about 7.5 gallons. And the national average water consumption per household is 5,000 to 7,000 gallons of water per month. So we stuck with $6,000 for our analysis. And keep in mind, this is water and sewer costs. So based on that, right now, if you live in the city of Jackson, you would pay $88 a month. Those residents on SNAP benefits would only pay $58 a month. So if the new rates go into effect, the average home's water bill would climb nearly $12 to $99.86 a month. For those on SNAP, the bill would all be about $70. Now, how does the rates here, or the rates in Jackson, stack up against rates elsewhere? So if you can see here, the highest water and sewer bill for an average home using 6,000 gallons a month is going to be, if you live outside of Pearl, at more than $130. So outside the city limits of Pearl, more than $130 a month. After that, folks living outside outside of Clinton. Our analysis showed that the bill would be about $126 a month. Brandon is in third place with people paying $125 a month. And the Pearl River Valley Water District is fourth with an average bill costing $97.50 a month. Jackson comes in fifth on this list, but would slide up to fourth with the new rate increase. Now, the cheapest rates that we found were in the city of Ridgeland, where water and sewer cost just $29.50 a month. So we are continuing to follow the proposed rate increase for Jackson Water, and of course, we will definitely keep you updated. And speaking of water, there's been a revised study of the two remaining options for flood control along the Pearl River that continues to spark debate among many people. So about 70 people watched the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers meeting where they raised concerns about the revised study, including the new cost for the plan known as Alternative D1. That plan could easily cost around $900 million. Others there claim 45 days isn't long enough to fully review the findings. So there will be another public meeting this month. He will be here in Jackson on July the 31st, and you will be able to attend that meeting to learn more about the flood control for the Pearl River here in the city of Jackson from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And there is a traffic alert for you. You've probably heard this if you live up in the northern part of Rankin County around Goshen Springs. A temporary highway closure is happening up there. It's going to start in just a couple of weeks, and it could impact a lot of you that drive along the north side of the res. MDOT says the Highway 43 bridge over the res will be closed from July 28th until October 1st. So they're going to be crews repairing the bridge on this roadway. And if you need to take a detour involving Highway 25, the detour will involve Highway 25 and I-55, which means if you live in that area and you have to cross over 43 to get into Madison County to go to work, you will have to go now down 25 across Spillway and then back up I-55, which means that a work commute that normally takes about 20 minutes could take 45 minutes or more if there is no traffic. So we are looking into this, and we're talking with some businesses and residents in that area today to see how this could affect them, and maybe answering some questions that a lot of people may have as to maybe why they are doing it now, and just a lot of questions to ask here. So we're going to be doing that, and you can check that out in our later newscast today and, of course, online. Before we look at our forecast, we are going to hear from our sponsors over at JXN Water. So let's hear from them.
At JXN Water, we are in the game and locked in on our goals. Every day, our dedicated teams are hard at work, ensuring that clean, reliable water flows to every home and business in Jackson. We are not just fixing pipes. We're investing in a brighter, more resilient future for our city. JXN Water, water for all the time.
And again, thanks to JXN Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. Let's go ahead and look at our forecast right now. Look at what our current temperatures are outside across the area. You can see we're sitting at 90 here in Jackson, but in the upper 80s everywhere else. However, remember I told you that heat indices, it is up there. So while we may be sitting at 90 here in Jackson right now, the feels like temperature is 103 degrees. We are in triple digits. It feels extremely hot out there, which means if you work outside, If you're going outside, any kind of outdoor activities, make sure you are staying hydrated and you stay cool. So we look at, or you try to stay cool, try to take some breaks, get into shade or air conditioning. We do have those afternoon showers across the area right now. And if we look at our next 12 hours, you can see what our forecast is looking like over the next 12 hours, dropping down into the mid 70s overnight. Now, our first alert weather team will be here at 2:30 today to give you a more in-depth look at your forecast. And don't forget, we are watching the tropics. There could be there is a development rather moving across the panhandle of Florida, and it could ramp up as it gets into the Gulf of Mexico. There's a lot of different spaghetti models out there, and they are all saying something a little different. So we can't give a more detailed forecast, but we can at least let you know about it. And our first alert weather team is the people you want to hear from and listen to when it is concerning anything weather related in our area. So tune in today at 2:30 to hear from them. Now, school is going to be starting back very soon, probably more soon than a lot of kids would like. But when classes start at Obama Magnet School, students will be among those entering a new building and seeing some new faces there. So Jackson Public Schools optimization plan closed the elementary school. Those children will now be at Northwest Middle School, which you can see where it's located here on the screen. 3 on Your Side went on an exclusive tour of the renovated space for the students there. Students will now take up residency with nearly 300 pre-K through 5th graders. The larger, freshly painted classrooms will welcome elementary students to the middle school. There's some upgraded upgraded restrooms for more children who attend the school. That was, of course, closed by the optimization plan. Just outside the wing is a new playground. 25 teachers are assigned to the Obama Magnet School. And while many were sad to leave their downtown location, educators and parents are welcoming the change.
I just hope that with the move that we will still have the Obama Magnet Way, because it's not just a place. It's very special. There's an essence about families that come through Obama Magnet. We're really, really close-knit.
Our boys and girls are going to be exposed to wonderful spaces that we did not have at our previous school. So we're really excited about that. I want them to know that we're committed to their safety, that we want them to feel confident because instruction will continue.
Renovations are scheduled to be completed by July 18th, and classes start the 28th. And students at Belhaven University will get an opportunity that is a first in its state. They're debuting an online master's degree in artificial intelligence. So the program is offered fully online. Students can enroll to earn a Master of Science in Applied Artificial Intelligence. The 10-course program offers 7 weeks of classes that prepare students for high-demand roles in technology, healthcare, finance, and more. So this comes as the state of Mississippi makes over $37 million worth of investments in AI education grants. And Belhaven is now accepting applications for this AI degree program for upcoming terms. And the Jackson Fire Department announced that they have a new command staff that has been appointed, and say congratulations to these guys. So 5 new appointments have been made. Steve Denham has been appointed as the Assistant Fire Chief. Eric Gibbs took the title of Deputy Fire Chief of the Emergency Services Division. Mark Joyner, Antonio Ross, and Robert Elbert have been appointed to be Division Fire Chiefs of the Emergency Services Division. In a post that JFD made on Facebook, they ended it by saying they are 10-8 and ready to serve. Well, that is going to be it for WLBT Plus today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow for your top 3 from WLBT, and of course, again at 1 for WLBT Plus. And our first alert weather team will be here at 2:30 to give you an update on the forecast. So make sure you're tuning in for them there or then. And I will see you guys later. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.